refuse to not be first.
Do we do enough? Well, I never shut up about it.
It must have been about 16, 17. We nicked their guilt wins. Right, the bouncers guilt wins.
This is no good for me. That's the reality. If you want the honest truth, and I see it every day.
Razaban IFL TV proudly sponsored by Everlast. Delighted to have with me Matt Macklin. Matt, I know you're on father duties today, so we will keep this short and brief. But listen, before I say anything, how is she?
It's absolutely brilliant. I mean, it's one of the nice things about the Birmingham show. We do all this stuff here, and then we can dip off and go home. Where if we're in Manchester or London or wherever, it'd be back to the hotel. Well, I'd probably stay here all day in those places because you ain't got nothing else to do. Where I've got my partner with me, Sarah, and Molly, my daughter. So yeah, we'll dip off soon.
But then, to be honest, Matt, when you're in Manchester or Liverpool or London, there is a benefit that you can catch up on some well-deserved sleep, right?
Oh yeah, definitely, and I do, believe me.
Joshua Watsey returns back to the ring. Is it important now, Matt, that he stays active? He's had the last couple of years of 1 fight, 2 fights, injuries, and not having certain fights. Is it important that activity is continuous throughout, all the way to the end?
Completely, out of sight, out of mind. If you're not boxing, people forget about you and they're going to focus on who he's fighting. So and he's not a flamboyant personality, you know what I mean? So he needs to be boxing. That's how his name's going to get out there. It's not going to be sort of out of the ring stuff where he catches attention. He's not that type of person. So, but he's a great fighter and he's brilliant to watch. So it's his performances that are going to get people talking about him. That's going to build his name. And just to be sharp and to be at the top of your game. You're boxing once a year. It's impossible to be at the top of your game. You need momentum. You need activity to be sharp. And it's obviously the relationship with Matchroom soured for whatever reason. I don't know the ins and outs. But he's signed a new deal now. It's his first fight with Boxer and Sky, and hopefully he comes through with a good win, unscathed injury-wise, and then can get out again ASAP, because the light heavyweight division, domestically and on the world scene, is red hot. You got Bivol and Baturbia fighting each other. What a fight that is. But then we've got, if you look domestically, you got Yard, you got Dan Aziz, you got Lyndon Arthur. There's lots of good fighters there in the light heavyweight division, and I know it's always better if the world title is on the line when they can't fight each other, but Dan Aziz is British Commonwealth European champion. You know what I mean? That's good enough. If get that on the line, fight Dan Aziz after this fight. If the world title shot's there, obviously you take that. But if it's not sort of there on the table, then I think Buatsi and Dan Aziz is a no-brainer.
And like we saw a couple of weeks ago, Gervonta Davis and Ryan Garcia, there were no belts on the line. Yeah, of course, big names, big following, but ultimately they could have easily said we won a title on the line, but they didn't.
No, look, a great fight's a great fight. Two great fighters fighting against each other is going to bring excitement. People are going to turn in, they're going to watch it. It's going to generate the money. So, like I say, Dan, and actually in the case of Dan Aziz, there are other titles on the line. All right, it hasn't got the world title, but it's got the British Commonwealth European, 3 traditional bona fide titles. And for me, I think it's a no-brainer.
You're from this area. I know you're not far from where we are now, but great to see so much talent from Birmingham. Ben Whittaker there on your right, Tyler Denny, Corey Gibbs is on here as well. So much Birmingham talent. There should be more shows in this city.
Well, I think this could be. Hopefully, the show is a big success. The fans turn out. The fights live up to our expectations, and this is a venue, the Resorts World, where you'd like to think that it could really become something. You got Ben Whittaker up the road, Fraser Clark's only up the road as well. You got, like you say, loads of guys like Tyler Denny who are willing to fight anyone, which is proven. Boxing undefeated guy, one after the other. Okay, I don't think he's going to become a world champion, but maybe he can become a British champion. And he deserves his slot on these cards. But it's with the Resorts World as well, the casino, so many hotels on site. It's a great, logistically, a great place to have a show.
Lauren Price, opportunity to become the first ever female to win a British title. Again, a great news for women's boxing.
Oh yeah, big time. I mean, Katie Taylor was the original trailblazer in women's boxing, but maybe there's always someone then to take the baton off you and go on to the next level. And Lauren Price is kind of that mould, just a gifted sports person, football, taekwondo, kickboxing, whatever she puts her hand to, she's gifted at. An Olympic gold medalist as well. She's fighting now for the British title. She's going to move quickly. She is. It ain't going to be too long before she's fighting for world titles, I believe.
Matt, Ben Shalom just told me 6,000 tickets sold. Bournemouth, Lawrence Cody put something out saying 13,000 tickets sold. Adam Azim a couple of weeks later, early June, sold out York Hall, and I'm assuming Chris Eubank Jr. and Liam Smith also going to be sold out. So good times for Sky Sports and Boxer. Yeah,
definitely a really sort of healthy schedule coming up. This is a big show. I know they've wanted to come to Birmingham for a while, but it had to be the right show. This is a good card, and I think if it's a success, they'll be back here. And from I work for Sky Sports, obviously, as you know, and our roster looks very healthy. There's some big shows coming up here and in America with the Top Rank deal, and I'm just looking forward to calling the fights.
Just away from the show, Matt, I'm sure you read the article or come across the article in The Guardian from Thomas House about his thoughts on Anthony Joshua, and he said the best thing that Anthony Joshua could do is retire. Just want to kind of get your reaction and thoughts on those comments.
Yeah, look, I know Thomas Housen, one of the sort of best writers there's ever been in boxing, and a man of integrity, a man who'll call it as he sees it. Look, I think a fighter's decision to retire is personal to him, each fighter, but I understand where Thomas is coming from. Boxing's a tough business, these are big guys taking big shots. He's earned many fortunes to last, his grandkids are going to be well looked after, never mind himself and his own children. So, he's won world titles, he's won it back, he's lost it, won it again. So, there's not much more to achieve that he hasn't already achieved, apart from, obviously the Fury fight that we haven't got to see so far. And I suppose I'm guessing he's thinking, well, look, the Wilder fight, that's a big fight. We were meant to have it happen as well. That hasn't happened. I won that fight. Seems to be a lot of money on the table for that, and it's a lot of money to walk away from, isn't it? And not just the money. I suppose it's he wants to be involved in these big fights. He probably believes that he can, get back up there. I don't really know what else to say about it. I think I understand where Thomas Houser's coming from, but I also know that it's a fighter's individual choice.
We were all expecting Anthony Joshua to be this old Anthony Joshua, being explosive against Jermaine Franklin. It was far from that. People say he said himself that I'll be out in again 12 weeks' time. Then he said I'm not going to be out in 12 weeks' time. I'll be out in December. So why are they not going to take a fight in summer? Eddie said, look, he'll love him to have a fight, but why won't they take that fight to continue that development and learning under Derek James, to prepare him for a man like Deontay Wilder if it happens in December? Yeah,
I mean, look, I think when you start changing trainers and that, you put another hardship on your career. There's a lot to be said for being settled with a trainer that knows your strengths, knows your weaknesses. And I say that as someone that had a lot of trainers. It's a hardship moving to another town again. And I know it's way different for him than it would have been for me in terms of the money and the budget he's got to bring. He can bring people with him and stuff, but nonetheless, you're still in the gym every day working with another guy, and you're trying to get on the same page, and maybe you don't feel too comfortable trying to do what he's trying to show you to do. And there's a lot to I thought he had a great run with Rob McCracken. Now sometimes maybe he just wanted to change, maybe it got a bit stale, I don't know. I thought he was definitely, the fight against Usyk, he was more aggressive, it was a better performance. But that doesn't mean the next time he's going to get the same impact. Do you know what I mean? There's changing trainers. Generally, you're better off sticking with the guy who knows you, I think. But then you don't know all the ins and outs. We don't know it might have been a personal clash. Who knows?
Fury, Andy Ruiz, a lot of rumours about that fight being next for Tyson Fury. He said a big announcement to you. Eddie Hearn said that day, it's a done deal, I think, July 22nd. But got an appetite for that?
Yeah, I think so. Look, I think Fury will just be too big and rangy for him. I don't think he'll let Ruiz near him. I think he'll just keep him on the end of the jab and soften him up. But you know, Ruiz is a top heavyweight, isn't he? So, and it's good that he's staying active. You know, if there's a big show in December that we're led to believe there is, then I guess he wants to kind of sharpen up.
All right, Matt, this is going to be short and sweet today because you've got responsibility, and I know what those responsibilities are like. So, yeah, enjoy the rest of the day, mate, and we'll catch up with you tomorrow. Matt Macklin, IFL TV, thank you very much.
Because I refuse to not be first.
Do we do enough? Well, I never shut up about it.
It must have been about 17, winning their guilt wins. Right, the bouncers guilt wins.
This is no good for me. That's the reality. If you want the honest truth, and I see it every day,